7:30? 30 seconds, according to Keith. So, declare the meeting open. First item on the agenda to receive apologies of absence. Jill.
Mike Osborne, John Egglesfield and Liz Tubb.
Okay, duly acknowledged then. Next item, 20, council declare any personal prejudice or interest in items on the agenda tonight.
No.
Peter and Leslie?
No.
No, okay, that's a no. Third item 21, to approve the minutes of the Parish Council meeting held on the 3rd of February 2016. Have we all read and agreed with those?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I need someone to propose and someone to second that, I think.
Propose.
Okay, the company pen.
Between us.
There's one here.
Economic.
Can you pass that down?
No.
What's the date? 2nd of March.
Yeah, second of the third.
Yeah.
2, 3.
My agreement is 6th of January, is it? What's on the silly typo? Oh, is it?
Okay, so
Oh, well, Ellen. I just printed it.
fourth item on the agenda, 22, public participation. Any members of the public wish to say anything before we commence the evening's proceedings? No, all is quiet.
There you go.
Okay, excellent.
Come to bed.
And the fifth item, number 23, clerk's report and correspondence, please, Jill.
Right. This month sees us coming towards the end of our financial year and planning towards the new one. As we look back, the Parish Council can feel a great sense of pride in all that it has achieved in what isn't even yet a full year. We've launched our neighbourhood plan, which continues to gather pace as we're on the brink of a full public consultation exercise. We have tendered out all our grounds maintenance work, saving money on costs, and have had our first year in partnership with the excellent Buckland Landscapes. We have spent more money on grounds maintenance, but what a difference it has made with all the clearance work along the boundary of the park, in the wooded areas and in the churchyard. We've been able to employ a new staff member who is not fully but largely dedicated to the planning committee and the neighbourhood plan, without whom the neighbourhood plan would not have been possible. We have applied for and received almost £128,000 in S106 money from new housing developments in the village. This has enabled us to install a state-of-the-art mugger, new wooden park signs and a new path, which will allow all members of the community access to our facilities. We have installed an overspill car park in anticipation of the busy summer months. We have implemented new policies that have brought us into line with current public sector practice and new accounting systems to keep a tight eye on the finances. We have forged real working links with the football club, the youth club and the skate park users. We have had approval for over £1 million in funding for a new community centre. Last but not least, we have tenanted out the pavilion to the fantastic cafe in the park. For this council, this is only the start of what is planned. As clerk, I would like to congratulate the council on these achievements. We are now operating as a parish council should, implementing programmes for the benefit of the local community, and I think the electorate can be content that their local taxes are being spent for the good of the village and that every penny is being put to work effectively.
Thanks very much. Any comments? Any comments around the table?
Pardon?
Any comments around the table?
That needs a clap. Well said.
Okay,
A
excellent.
clap to you
Thank you,
for
Jill.
the decisions.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much sums up very well what's gone on with the council. It's good stuff. Okay, moving on. Sixth item, Finance and Staff Committee.
Shall I just pass these round?
Yep.
If I may?
Hopefully we should all have seen. You've
still
got
got
one,
yours
Paul's got
from-
one. Have you got?
We haven't got the
Okay.
so could we share?
Yeah, you can share one.
Can I have one each?
One each. And you two
Very
are
generous.
Yeah, I've got one.
Lovely, thank
Chart. Or is
That's
that
sort of a different thing.
okay?
But I'm very happy to show you this.
We like a picture.
I
Like
spent, I
a
had a
Venn
lovely,
diagram.
I had a lovely time doing that today. You've seen these.
We've got approval for all that,
Hmm?
all that ink.
Okay, thank you.
Only you could ask me that.
If we had a projector, we wouldn't need to print.
It's just a little exercise that I did, which is nothing to do with this month's finances, but it's a comparison of the 2014 to 15 expenditure with this year's expenditure. And you can see immediately where the bulk of it went and where it has gone this year. And that's going to go on the website.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm happy for any of the members of the public to see that,
Would you like to send that on, Peter? Thank you.
because I can easily email all of you a copy. That was particularly for the F&S meeting, but
Well, it's
As I've got
sort of good
spares.
as well, you know.
have a
Yeah.
look at.
Okay.
My main
Susie.
report was, we were just looking at the end of year finances and seeing where we are. Nothing to report back as such with that. We looked at the pie chart as well, seeing where we were a year ago and where we've gone on through this year. And then mainly it was just having a look through approving any questions on the expenditure at the end of this month. So just in your pack, you've got the budget projection for the end of the year and then this month's expenditure as well.
Yeah, thank you. I sort of went through this, and the lamp replacement costs. I know he has to use the cherry, 84 quid a hit. Presumably that's a light bulb replacement, is it, when we say
It's the bulb
lamp
and
replacement?
yeah, it's the bulb, it's the light.
Does that strike you as being pricing or not? 300
Being an expert in price of
light
lamps,
lamps? No, I mean the bulb is not.
I only do the post, mate, not the bulbs.
Yes.
I've never tested the pricing. I mean, it's something that we need to look at. As
Well,
a
it
general
is
maintenance
quite
contract.
chunky, isn't it? I mean, 85 quid a hit every time we get a light bulb replacement. Well, they probably use a cherry picker.
Well, they do. I mean, they do use cherry.
You know, if
so,
they're doing one, I
so
can
this is
understand
labour.
that-
This is labour plus part.
Yes.
So you know, yeah, I've somewhere I have a breakdown of their charges, which I will check.
Okay. Just thought maybe we could, offer that out somewhere else if there's a possible. That's my only thought on that. It seems fairly pricey. Anybody else got any comments on any items? Okay. So I think, Susie, we've got two payments to be agreed, is that approval of expenditure, is that right?
So if I propose the motion to agree clerk and pay the outstanding invoices.
I'll second it.
And a vote on that, please. Unanimous.
That's done.
Okay, short and sweet. Planning committee, that will come down to me this time. We haven't had a meeting since the last time. Our next planning meeting is due tomorrow. But in the meantime, the only two items that have actually happened between last time and this time before tomorrow is there were two appeals or applications to remove the restriction on bleeping, reverse bleeping at the two sites down at Arla. And the planning committee talked about that, and we have decided, I think we emailed around on that, we objected to both of those. There are two amendments, but they're both the same thing for different parts of the site. So that was put in as objection. We don't see why that should be removed. Arla don't have it. Or they, in the sense they don't have the restriction removed. They do abide by the restriction, so we can't see why these people won't do that. So that's been put in. That's about it really in terms of the actual planning side of things. The rest of it will be discussed tomorrow. The neighbourhood plan, that has taken some fairly big strides forward recently. We have agreed the timing and wording of both the flyer and the questionnaire. The flyer is going to go out 2 weeks before, or 1 week before the questionnaire, which I think is when we're planning to launch that week, commencing the 14th.
14th and the 21st.
Yes. So that's the flyer's going to hit every household in the parish. It's going to be a solo delivery, so it won't be put in with other bump. It's slightly cheaper to do it that way, but we decided that wasn't a good idea because people look at all those pizzas and everything and sort of bin the whole lot. So that's going to go out. Once that's gone out, which we think will be on the 14th, there will be a link on that, on the flyer, and you can, from that time on, you can go live straight to that link and fill in the questionnaire online. A week later, the hard copy of the questionnaire will go out, also delivered to every single business and residents in the parish. And we're going to have about 3 weeks, I think, approximately, is the time frame for completion of that. Okay. We've agreed also to have that analysed by someone who's putting the formatting, if you like, the questionnaire for the online uplift, and that person will also analyse the results and present them to us for our feedback afterwards. Any questions on the neighbourhood plan? I think have I missed it? Interrupting to the floor. Have I missed anything there, Keith?
No, that's
No. Any questions? Okay, that completes the planning committee report, item 025. Moving on, item 026, facilities committee, general update and feedback from the LAF. Are you handling that, Alan?
Peter.
Oh, Peter, sorry.
Yes, it was held on the 4th of February. Hopefully Carol might be able to back us up with some of these notes I've made on from here. Firstly, it started off with some young people from the Youth Forum that's just started out. They're doing a lot of work in and around the Wendover area, shopping for the elderly, charity walks, sports and fitness and all that type of thing. But that's only just started to go. They're called Elderly Youth Action, so that's only just up and running. Petitions are mostly for education with the school sites. Lack of school places in Wendover. There's more traffic, obviously. It doesn't take the traffic report is not taken into account the already 400 passed houses offered places the other side of Aylesbury. And I think actually this is where Carol was speaking on that particular point. It was also mentioned that Bearton are taking the first batch of schooling, but only the land has been given. No mention of the building of the school. Has been given by the developers. Stoke Mandeville have got another 2 by 200 applications, plus one more coming in for approximately 100. So obviously the figures are coming in from the education side of it. It's going to be very, very high. I actually asked at the end of the meeting if it's possible that if somebody can come from the education committee and actually say what figures are in the schools, not just hearsay that there's 10 or there could be 12, but if somebody could actually come and say this is what the situation is in each school, how many places are available at the moment.
There is they did actually publish a report, I think Carol of Bucks County Council Education Department have got a report out online, and it has got the figures in there. We've seen that on the planning side of things. I could probably find that for you. But the summary of it basically says that with the planning permission that was granted as of the date, which I think was a few months ago, there are no, basically they're overcommitted already.
Yeah.
That's what the summary says.
I didn't know that at the when we had the meeting. That's why I raised the question to see if we could get the or a closer figure as possible, instead of having this if, buts and wherefore. So obviously in Wendover they're not particularly around Wharf Road, where the schools are now, they're not very happy with the amount of traffic that's already been just going up and down there. Coming into sort of Aylesbury area, the East-West Link Road's going ahead, with government funding, and the local authority are putting in a lot of money as well. AVDC and Bucks CC are putting a lot of money into that. Coming to Tring Hill, obviously with the very, very unfortunate incident that happened last year with the fatality that was up there, there's obviously a lot of talk about how can we eradicate the problems, you know, to stop any more accidents happening, particularly coming down the hill and the left turn to go through to Wendover. So there's talk of VAS signs going up and other signage to enforce people's attentions to come down, you know, coming down the hill. It was spoken about, but, you know, not roundabouts, but roundabouts not really a feasible situation to put going Tring Hill there, really. So that is being looked at anyway, and as I say, really with I think the VAS signs will be probably one of the things that they might go ahead with from that.
Why did they say that a roundabout wasn't a feasible proposition for that?
I personally don't think it is either myself. I don't think a roundabout.
Is it because of the size of articulated, not being able to get round it?
That, amongst other things, you've either got to have a fully complemented roundabout, I think, you know, or if you have just one of these raised humps in the middle of the road, I don't think that's going to really stop the traffic from speeding down the hill anyway. It needs something to slow them down coming down to that junction, you know. So hopefully, if the VAS signs go up, that will, you know, vehicle activated signs. Sorry.
There's one that says you're going too fast now, basically.
Yeah, like if you go through, you know, going through any village or into the town, you know, it's 30 mile an hour, and you're doing 35 and that, you know. So hopefully that will slow it down. But it's all being looked at, and Trial Talk for Bucks are looking into hedge trimming as well to try and eradicate.
Why did they ever remove the slip road down there in the first place?
Well, that was there years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes,
They filled that in.
Yeah. And unfortunately, we've had a few incidents.
Since they filled it in?
Yeah. So that's what they're looking at there anyway, so.
Okay, thank you.
On the police side of it, we had an inspector from TVP basically said in the Wendover area there's been an increase in burglaries, particularly from sheds and from vehicles, tools and everything else, you know, like that. That's been on the increase, unfortunately. They can help out with security markings if anybody needs them for their tools, for their vehicles or whatever. Wendover, sorry.
Have they closed the police station yet?
Yeah, I'm just coming on to that. Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, Wendover Police Station is going to close, and all staff is going to be moved to Aylesbury. And what they're looking at as well, I suppose this is not only with us but more countrywide, is having drop-in centres to make up for that. 999 calls, there'll be no difference in and no cuts in staff levels regarding that particular side of it.
What was the reason for closing the Wendover station? Did they give one?
Cost,
Cost
I suppose,
cutting,
just simply just cost cutting, yeah. And then they're looking, like you say, the others to have drop-in centres. You know, they said in the end, the shop on the end of the road or something like that. You know, it's sad, really, isn't it? But, you know, yeah. RAF Holton, we had a warrant officer come and spoke to us, and they're very, very busy up there at the moment with new recruits, and obviously everybody's seen what's going on up there. There's the end of one filming situation up there at the moment, and the new one will be starting mid to late April, Paramount spy film, just so everybody knows. We've had a lot of letters about the noise on the rifle range, which I suppose all of us can hear, can't we? You know, when we can hear that sort of playing up there again. But they've had quite a lot of letters about it.
What complaint? Because
Yeah.
one assumes.
Yeah, complaints, but they're going back to normal use, whatever they mean by normal use, you know.
Every Tuesday.
Tuesday, Wednesday. It's Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
I can play with the aeroplanes.
Yeah. So, going on to AVDC, and hopefully I've got this right, otherwise Carol's going to tell me off. The cuts is a 1.99% increase in council tax.
Yeah.
They're going to reorganise the council services into one team. We'll have a website up and running for 24 hours a day. Personally, and I'm not being nasty, I believe that when I see it, the problems you have trying to get onto the website for planning and everything else anyway. They're going to create a company for subscription services. Whatever they are, I don't know, because I've got a question mark down here anyway. The Vale of Aylesbury plan, they're looking at 31,000 homes by 2023.
How many? 31?
31,000.
2033.
33, big pardon.
Oh, sorry.
Right, so that's another 10 years on top, that's all right.
Just one point about the council tax rise. I went to somebody. Was it 1.99 plus 2% as well?
AVDC is 1.99. Bucks County Council is 1.99 plus 2% for social care.
So basically 4%.
Pay up
Yeah.
the case.
They're now looking at density of developments now. For whatever reason, they're looking at north of the county now,
Great.
which is hopefully good news for us down this part of the county, you know. Domestic waste rounds are changing from June the 7th, restructuring the rounds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Vale Lottery is up and running for good causes. 6,000 tickets have been sold and 60 causes have already signed up, raising approximately £3,500 in the early stages. Lastly, sorry it's so long, the actual LAF funding, monies will be going to the village of Holton for traffic calming proposals. I'm not exactly sure, we don't know exactly what proposals they are, but and obviously the costs, they're going to the cost going towards the whatever they deem necessary for Tring Hill and you know, for the VAS signs and everything. What's left over from the funding amount will be going to the young group. This is the first group we spoke about. The young group has just started, and parking in Wendover itself. Apparently there's a lot of problems with that as well around Wendover. As you can probably see, particularly if you've got from the clock tower up Tring Road, the parking up on opposite on the right hand side if you're going up the hill.
Towards us.
Oh yeah, I mean as you approach from Holton on the left.
Yeah, on the left coming down,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
so many cars parking there now, so monies will be going to that, because they're looking at on street parking, it's getting a bit horrendous around there, so thank you very much.
Oh, one question, Peter. Earlier on you said about the Wendover school, they've been given the land, or the land has been approved, is that what you
Around
said?
Bearton,
Oh, Bearton, not
Yeah.
Wendover. Oh, Bearton.
yes, it's taken on the first batch of schooling, only the land has been given by the developers.
Oh, that's
They're
in
not
Bearton.
Yeah,
Bearton.
they're not building the schools.
Wow. Carol, could you have a comment on that?
Yeah, the education officers keep saying with all these planning applications, oh yes, so much as secondary school at what would be Bearton Broughton, that development there, but they don't seem to take into account the fact that the developers are only providing the land for that and not building a school or anything like that. So what we have done, the next local area forum, we've asked that the Bucks County Council education officers actually come to the next local area forum so that then we can put questions to them. So I would suggest anybody interested in education places or lack of them, please come along to that next meeting
Yeah,
and put your questions directly to the education officers.
thank you. Yeah, good, it's a good point. Yeah, well worth going, I think. Because they do complain about lack of attendance to these local area forums as well, don't they?
It wasn't.
Have they had their funding cut as well, for all I understand, haven't they?
There's something going
There's
on
something
there.
going
There's
on
some
there.
emails going around at the moment
Yeah.
that I need to catch up with.
There wasn't many of us last one, was there?
No.
No. Okay, thank you very much. Thanks for doing all that as well. Good. Right. Next item. Sports and Recreation Subcommittee. Play Park project to discuss and agree on quotes. Is that you again, Peter, or is that you? Peter.
Yes, we've had some quotes for the play equipment from Calloo, Safe and Sound and Sutcliffe Play. Subsequently,
Are we allowed to mention the company?
oh sorry, right, you shouldn't have done that. 1, 2 and 3, they're too late there. Yeah.
This is a summary. If
Shut
anyone
up
wants to
now.
see the full
You can
quotes,
hear it.
I've got it
Well, I think
here.
it's okay, because no one's got any interest in this. They got traditional interest.
Anyway, number 1, 2 and 3 then.
Okay, thank you.
But subsequently, with Jill, with that one,
Yeah.
I've been in discussion with him most of the afternoon, and he's revised the quote.
So column
This is-
one,
It's column
On
one,
this
begins with
summary.
a C.
begins,
Is it?
yeah.
So
What's
it's
the
the first
revised?
column on the left.
Yes, okay.
Okay, so what's the new, what's the moolah, what's the dosh?
That's the dosh.
So that's come down.
Can you write it on
It's gone
mine?
up, isn't it?
Whatever it was.
Column 28.
I'm lost.
It's gone from,
Oh,
it's gone from
oh, right.
29 to 21.
Okay.
Gone down to 28.1 as of this afternoon.
But there's a couple of things in there that,
So is that £900 there?
Yes.
yeah.
That's it, isn't
I think
it?
so, yeah.
But there's a couple of things in there that,
Okay, well,
to be honest, I've only just read this afternoon on the last page, I believe it is, about the spoils. It's going to be left for us to clear.
With whom? With all of them?
No, with that particular one.
So they're charging more and they're not taking away the sport. But so,
It says on there, I've,
Excavation, isn't it? It's got
so number
nothing in
2
that one.
is?
no, that one.
No, I know, but I'm asking you.
in the middle two columns,
The other,
option,
the
under
other,
option
the
1,
other
option 2,
suppliers, are they taking away
Yeah.
them?
this is
Oh, no,
removal.
I see.
So the excavation is actually removal, is it? These
Yeah.
two items here.
Do you know why?
Alan, hang on, Susie, Alan?
Well, a couple of
That
things.
explains that.
Couple of things. One, why is the wet tour for one double what it is for the others?
Because it's probably a bigger area. They're going, instead of just going underneath the equipment, they're going to spread it out around.
Do you want to have a look at the actual quotes?
No, I was just curious as to why there was a big discrepancy. In terms of spoil, how much spoil are you talking about, and what would be the time frame?
There's no time frame. The only time frame is the work. Is I think it says about 6 to 8 weeks. But it's on the last page, I believe, about leaving the spoil on site, piling it up, and
Do we know how much there is?
I think there might be a figure on there, Alan, if you can find it on them, going right towards the back.
And when is it you're planning to have this put in?
We can't do anything for at least a few weeks, at least anyway, now, because we've got to wait on our project that's ongoing at the
I
moment.
understand that, it's just that we have, at the start of next financial year, a project to deal with the spoil from the footpath, that depending on how much spoil there is from
The other company?
your project, we could probably just accommodate it into one exercise.
And
And just, the cost would be virtually, I would think, the same, because they're still working on the same ground.
when would you be looking to do
Yeah.
that? That's,
Well, we,
Springtime, we thought it would be late.
yeah, it will be springtime, but I wouldn't want to get that work commissioned for you to then come on and say, I've got a load more spoil. if we can just do a little bit of synchronisation.
I was going to say, there's no reason why we can't synchronise it together.
And then we can deal with your spoil almost at no cost.
That would take, that particular one, they've said, would take approximately about 6 weeks.
Okay, Toby.
Where is this going?
Hang on.
Sorry.
Toby.
Can I just, my one observation is that one of these companies we've worked with before,
Yeah.
and we know how they work, and they know us, and they know our expectations.
Which is?
Number one.
Number one, thank you.
So unless there were any major issues with the job they did before, I would say that's a good reason to go with them again, particularly when there's not a great difference in the price, but the price, that we can address the price. My view is that if we select a company and the price isn't right,
Go back to them.
yeah.
Leslie.
What I was going to ask was, where is, sorry, it's you, isn't it? Where is this going? Are we increasing the area within the...
No, not increasing the area, just putting into the existing area.
Okay.
So I have a question as well then. All that bark that's in there, what happens to that?
Not going to be affected.
Okay, so it's a different
So it has to come out.
No, it's
No,
going.
it's not going in that bit.
It's not going in that bit at all. It's going
Oh.
into the other area, around that
Around
area,
it.
around it. It's not going to affect anything on the bark at all.
So you know where we've got the path going down, and we've got the path splits into two to go into the park at the moment. That first bit you walk into, there's like a disused bench there, and then there's the older swings there. We're
Yeah.
talking around that area,
Ah.
around there, not
Right.
actually the bark bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically in the corner.
Parallel with the path.
So it's easy
Yeah.
disabled access.
So alongside the fence, they're using that
Okay.
area around
Yeah.
there. Yeah. So it's not going to affect the barked area.
Oh.
Thank you, Chairman. Quote 4, there's lots of gaps, is there? Because they weren't... Can you explain the gaps, or...?
Look, there's none of that.
Oh, that one, yeah, that's all right, yeah, because they've just come back with basic prices of equipment and
So they'll do the same as the other three?
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. And second point, if I may, is this related to Tesco's grant?
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So could we not pursue this anyway, regardless of the outcome of the
We
Tesco?
are.
We
This
are
has
going to,
already
yeah.
been agreed. It's,
Okay,
I mean, obviously this price will be less what we get from
Yeah,
Tesco's
Tesco,
then,
yeah.
thank you.
whatever that may be.
Yeah,
The worst it's 8, isn't it?
Yeah.
yeah.
I've got another question. In the middle option, or the middle quote, safe and sound,
You just
oh dear, I'm not devious enough, I'm sorry, John. In those middle two,
I'm not the only one.
3, 4, 2.
yeah, it can't be middle, well the middle two I said, didn't I?
Quote 2.
Quote 2, you've got option 1 and option 2.
Yeah, that's,
Yes.
there is obviously quite a difference on there with equipment and everything else, because I've been looking at it on their quotes this afternoon.
Because, okay,
So I think in essence,
what is the difference? And what is the difference?
in essence, what I would say is, I would suggest that we leave out option 1 and just look at option 2 from the same company. Just leave that.
That's more comparable then, is
Yes,
it?
yeah.
Oh,
Option
okay.
2 is more comparable to
Yes.
the first option.
It should be nameless.
Yes. So I would suggest option 1 would just take out, just leave it alone.
Right.
Why they've done it twice, I don't know.
Okay, all right, okay, so
On the, does anyone want to see what the equipment is? Or are we don't care?
no, we don't care. We expect
Yeah.
that the something, you know,
Yeah.
have decided quite
It's lovely
happily on
because
that.
it's just that disabled children can use it and able-bodied at the same time.
The equipment will integrate into there, so there's no specific areas for them and them. Everybody will be
Plays
there.
together.
We're not replacing any of the equipment in the existing, are we?
No.
Because we did we not talk about that on a couple of items there that we thought about replacing? Did we not mention that some along the line? No?
No.
No? Okay. Must have been mentioning it then.
Can I say something?
Of course you can, Leslie.
We did sort of in a roundabout fashion, but we were going to do it later because it's still got life left, wasn't it?
Alan?
Given that we've budgeted this prior to the Tesco money, should the Tesco money not be looked at doing something additional with, rather than instead of?
I don't have a problem with that.
And
If there was another-
With some of this old equipment that is past its
Sell by.
sell-by.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just speaking as a member, I would not want to do another project with it, but that's a valid point. If we could replace a couple of lines, if we got the Tesco money, I would be for that, but I wouldn't be for a totally different project.
No,
Yeah.
different project.
No, you're not, that's fine, I would agree with that.
I mean,
but
more
wouldn't
of the
agree with-
same, more
Yeah.
within this,
Yes.
this
Oh, yeah, well,
idea
I
of
think we all-
integration.
We have budgeted for what's going on, because this was all projected before the Tesco money came along, that will provide a funding surplus to some extent that could be then used to update some of the equipment that's already there.
It's just
Okay.
that Tesco money has been allocated in terms of,
No, I understand that, but when we put the Tesco money into that fund and take some money out of that fund and do something else with, it's only a matter of what you do with the what's left
the
over.
extra bit. Mm.
Okay, Leslie?
We've got a surface over there that's poor, big slide, haven't we? I think it's...
Oh, what, the landing area?
Yeah, it's trippable.
Yes, the old wet floor is.
So that, I take on board what Alan's just said. To me, instead of buying a big piece of equipment, perhaps address that first.
Okay. Peter?
I think that would need to be looked at by the working party, because it has been identified that there are some real priorities over there. If we're talking about the play park as a wider project and what does desperately need to be done, that probably needs a separate working party to look at it, because there are issues.
Peter?
Thanks, Jet. Could I just say that whatever we receive from Tesco's for this project, they are going to be acutely aware of where the money goes.
Yeah, it must go towards what you said it
On
will go
what?
towards.
So we just to be aware of that,
No.
you know, and they will be wanting photographs.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
yeah.
And everything else.
And you
know.
must link your invoices as well,
Yeah.
otherwise you'll defraud
Okay,
the
so-
public.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
just to make, you know, that we're all
Okay.
aware of that situation. Yeah.
Thank you. Susie?
Just looking at that wet pool question, looking at the two things
Why are
here.
they so different?
They're actually not as different as in the first quote is offering nearly, not quite, I would say about 90% more surface area is going to be covered in wet
Yeah.
pool compared to the other. So it's right, but say it's nearly double the amount when you're comparing the two. They both specifically say where the wet pool is going to go and how
Okay.
many square metres it's going to be. So that's why they account for the difference in that.
Thank you. Have we all ended the discussion enough now? Okay, I'd like to go to the motion then to agree a supplier for new play park equipment. Susie, would you like to propose that? Would you like to propose the motion?
Yeah, I'll propose a motion.
And a second, please.
Hang on, what are we proposing?
Oh, I've
got
got
to
to choose it, aren't we?
Got to choose one, yeah.
But choose first.
Got to
So
choose
what we're
first.
proposing?
Well, that's what we're proposing to choose one, that's what I mean.
So which one are we
Okay,
proposing?
all right, so, well, we'll have to take a vote on it. All right, option, the first column. Okay, who would like to go with the first column?
Oh, well done.
1, 2, 3,
It's done.
Job
4,
done.
5, 6. Okay,
Can I qualify the price?
the fact that you'd like to go back to them, they have done a slight deduction of 900. Do you wish?
It's still more than the
Yes.
others.
You wish us to go back again?
I don't think it's, if you don't ask, you don't know. do you?
No,
Peter?
sorry, Mr. Chair. I take Toby's point there. There are a couple of things on there that I can certainly speak to this company about, and the gentleman I've been speaking to today, that to try and get further reductions. I think we've done quite well today to get down by that amount again anyway.
Okay,
But there's a couple of things on there, particularly with very briefly, the Mandela, which obviously takes wheelchairs and able-bodied children, the straps that are needed for it. He did say, I think he said somewhere that, or I've got an email from him, that will be included in the price.
because the other options, which are very similar, to his Mandela roundabout quote,
Yeah.
don't mention the straps, so they
No.
all inclusive
Yeah.
in their quotes.
Well, that's what he said about his. He said that we'll include that in it, but looking on the quote, he hasn't. He's actually got them
Yes,
as
separate.
priced.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
by that figure. Yeah. So I can certainly mention that to him anyway, and I'd like to think we could perhaps, hopefully, try and get
Get a
that
bit more.
taken
Okay.
off again as well. So
Okay, so, excellent. So back to the motion then, to agree the supplier for the play park equipment, so that's
So I propose that we
option
go
one.
for option one.
Second.
And the vote on that? Unanimous. With a proviso, that Peter goes back to them
yeah.
for further discount.
Lovely. Could I have those quotes back? Thanks. I don't need all that, I just need the
All right.
original.
Oh, we can do
Please.
Yeah.
So moving on.
Keep our scribbly bit.
Oh, I
Okay, so moving on, that motion is agreed then. Item 2 on this one is Astonbury, feedback from the working party. Who is going to speak on that? Doesn't matter.
I think we may have to defer
We may have to do that, Liz.
because,
That was Liz. Yeah.
Liz and Mike.
yeah, well, it was Liz, Paul and I, but we haven't met since, but Liz
Okay.
has met with Green Park,
Right.
but only yesterday.
So-
I've not seen her since, and she's
Okay.
not here today, so,
All right, okay.
yeah.
Defer that to the next meeting then. And then item 3 on this section is the youth club, feedback from working party, discussion on the new proposal.
Well, half working party again is...
Not
No.
yet, but can you present that, Alan?
Yeah, I mean, it's been circulated to everybody. Can I make an assumption that everyone's read it?
Yeah,
Do we have any comments on it?
I've got questions.
so have I.
Fine, well, if you ask the questions, I will try and answer them.
Okay,
You
would you
read
like me to go? Okay, I read all that, and I'm aware that there was a tennis club proposal for the use of the youth club.
Uh-huh.
And on that report, it was given scant notice, in the sense that it said that the proposal was not known about, and that they have a key to use the toilet. And that was the total sum of the comment about the tennis club's proposal. So,
Tennis club
comments, please.
are currently asking for 2 days a week, Wednesday and Thursday, which
Right.
has been granted by the proposal.
Okay, that was not said in the
This
wording.
is it, it's in this.
It's in the
It's-
daily
it's in this-
schedule.
It's in this
Okay,
proposal.
thank you.
That's table tennis.
There's soft tennis as well.
Is that what the tennis club are proposing?
That's what they've asked for.
Did you meet them?
No, we didn't, the committee met.
They did, okay.
Oh, that's table tennis.
I know, but it apparently is.
You see, that says table tennis, so I would not have
I
any
thought that was
idea
tennis.
that was tennis.
I thought that was the club.
But when we asked the question, we were told that it was a tennis club. Because we specifically, in light of your comments, asked the question.
Oh,
They,
Can I just be clear? I
Toby.
believe the tennis club made the proposal to us, as in their formal
they did.
registering their interest in the youth club premises, not to the youth club.
they do.
So they're not,
They-
the youth club are not aware of the interest from the tennis
They
club
are
in the
now.
extent of the detail.
They are, well, we discussed it at our meeting with them last week. The problem is that there's already a process, if you know what I mean, where we were already talking to the youth club. So we weren't inviting proposals from other organisations. The tennis club took it upon themselves to present that proposal, but it was almost the wrong way about doing it. That's a youth club and it's being run by a youth club committee. So what they should have done was presented it to the youth club committee. So we're now kind of figuring that out. We did discuss that with the youth club
Have
committee
the tennis club informed
last week. Yes, they have now. So I think it was a bit of miscommunication.
So we might see a revised proposal from the youth club once
Yeah.
they've got together with the tennis club.
Yeah.
Because reading that table tennis and tennis are hugely different things.
No,
and-
what I think it's this
They were talking about their match day, weren't they?
Yeah.
And that's a monthly event, isn't it, which is...
But this was, the youth club prepared this before the tennis club, before they met with the tennis club.
Oh, I understand
So
that, but
so
that,
that's
you
still
went,
to be
you,
fleshed out.
so you went there, or the working party went there with knowledge of the tennis club's
Yeah, we
proposal.
did, and we mentioned it to them, but they didn't have knowledge of it.
No,
They do
which is
now.
what you said in the
Yeah.
thing. So, as per Tony's comment, are we going to get the parties back to, which is what Mike wanted in the first place, was for all parties to meet.
The tenancy of the youth club is not on offer.
Okay.
But we have got
No,
no...
we have a tenant in that it is the youth club. What we were concerned about was that the youth club appeared to be
non-functional.
non-functional. They have reformed their committee with new members and a very enthusiastic group of people they are now. And they've come up with a proposal which addresses a lot of our concerns, and in doing so, the recommendation of the working party at this stage is that we go along with their with their proposals.
Is that okay? Can I bring my
Leslie,
questions
Leslie.
in? Okay. I read the, I'm going by the minutes now, of
Right.
the last thing, where it says they plan to have one committee to run the venue with representatives from both organisations, and then each organisation will have its own separate committee for its own activities. And it was stressed that the parish council need to have one tenant, so that will be the youth club.
The parish council will also be on the committee.
Okay, so one councillor will be on the
Yes.
committee, and they've mentioned, am I allowed to say the name or not?
Well, we haven't.
No, I wouldn't know.
No.
No, all right then, so,
Because that's
Then-
only
That was only
an idea.
idea.
okay, so this then went on to say it shouldn't be in competition with the cafe,
Yeah.
which no doubt we're all agreed on. One of the reasons was because it's so busy in there after match hospitality has ceased,
Mhm.
okay? That place closes at 5 anyway, it doesn't stay open, so to me that's a bit of a strange statement, but I'm not picking fault. One of my concerns is why have they not approached them to stay open longer?
They
Because
have and they don't want
they don't
to.
want to.
Okay, fine. I'm just
And they also,
checking,
they,
'cause I
they
don't know,
also
I'm asking.
are having events in the big room on Saturday nights that will,
Okay,
Clash.
yeah.
right, okay.
Okay.
My next thing is, until we've had confirmation from the Cubs and the Scouts
Mhm.
that they want to use it, why are we pushing the thing through? Because my major concern is we, in effect, are giving a licence, we're giving permission for an alcoholic licence to be...
Would you like me to be very specific about what the terms of the, what is it you call it? So it's not a tenancy agreement as such.
Tenancy at will.
Pardon?
Tenants at will.
Tenants at will.
Okay.
That there is a very specific clause within that which will permit the sale of alcohol between the hours of the end of the football match,
Okay,
when they are obliged to provide hospitality to the visiting teams,
okay.
and 9 p.m, and not 1 minute after 9 p.m.
Fine.
And that'll be one day a week, which is a Saturday.
Okay.
It'll be at no other time without the express permission of this council.
Okay, so when...
And when
If they're in breach of it, we can take it.
yeah, if they're in breach of it, they will lose it. But, and specifically, the alcohol will be removed from site
Yes.
on a Saturday night and brought back the following Saturday.
Okay, but what about the sports Sunday?
No, that's just watching television.
Okay, without alcohol?
Yeah.
'Cause that's the bit
If
I'm
there is
worried
something like a World Cup on or something, and it's a World Cup final, and they want permission to do something different for that one event,
about.
then they have to come back here, make a proposal in advance, and it has to be agreed by this council, otherwise it will not happen.
Full council?
Yes.
Oh, fine, okay.
Peter.
Could I just query on the question of taking all the alcohol out after 9 and then bringing it back? Do we know where it's going to go to, or
No.
where they're going to store it? Are they going to be up for doing that every week?
Yes.
That's good.
Again, we were very specific in the discussions with them about what the terms would be. And it's for I mean, they're basically only going to be selling local cider. There's not going to be an awful lot there, so it's the stuff that will travel and come out fairly quickly. Because of it is a potential security problem to have alcohol left on the premises. That is a specific term that they will take it away, and they're happy to do that.
Just another
Peter, yeah.
very sort of small, minuscule question. Why 9 o'clock? Any particular reason for 9 o'clock?
No.
Not 8 or
No.
7:30 or anything like that?
No.
Have the tennis club got back to you since you've informed them?
I haven't.
Jill?
No. I was sort of leaving it until after this evening, really, to see where we were at with that.
Well, in the sense that if we vote for the motion, then they will be, I will use that term vaguely, excluded for any further discussions.
Well, they won't be excluded, but it reinforces the youth club as the tenant of that building. So then the process is that any clubs like the tennis club then have to go through the tenant of that building, which is this committee that will be formed.
Totally.
I agree with that, and it's correct, but also we as a council have the ability to control other users. I think I understand from
Yeah.
reading here.
Yeah.
So we have control. So if the youth club suddenly say they want to put on something that is not appropriate or unsavoury, we can block that and say no. Similarly, I presume that when Jill or somebody speaks to the tennis club to say, you made a proposal to us, we're actually only the landlord, you need to now talk to the tenant. And it's up to them, because the youth club, my understanding is the agreement that we'll draw up with the youth club will allow them to share occupation with approved uses. And we would hope that the tennis club is one of those uses, but it's up to them to come to an agreement, not us to come to an agreement with the tennis club. Right?
Yeah, sort of vaguely understand that.
So we continue to be the landlord with control, but the mechanics of the underletting is with the youth club, because they are the principal tenant.
Okay.
I think it's also worth pointing out that they are looking at putting, along with the football club, some substantial investment into updating that facility.
Well, to be honest, that's not before time, because they've let it go to rack and ruin, haven't they?
Well, it's a new committee, with new people on it, with new aims and new ambitions.
Okay.
The people that were largely in charge of it before are no longer associated with it. They have resigned.
Okay. That lays a few of my fears I have around that.
There's another query from me.
Leslie?
There's no stipulation, I'm sorry if I'm going on, but I'd
No.
like to be clear. There's no stipulation, somebody stated there's no restriction for referees going in before a game. Does that mean to have alcohol
No.
before a game? That's just using the building?
That's using the building for
Okay.
tea and coffee, because that's what referees
They might need.
do
I
before.
don't know, I don't know.
Before and at half time they go and have a
Okay.
cup of coffee or whatever.
Okay.
The rules on the sale of alcohol, assuming they get a licence for it, I mean, there is an assumption there,
Okay.
will be that it's from post-match to 9 p.m,
Okay.
Saturdays only.
Okay. And Alan, do you mind if I carry on asking questions? Is that all right? When it's the fun day, does that mean there'll be a licensed bar in there?
No, it doesn't mean anything of the
Well,
sort.
that's the Colts, not the football club.
Okay. So there's nothing to do with
But it-
I assume the Colts Fun Day will do what it's always done and have its
A fair-
beer
yeah.
Doesn't it have a...
Colston Football Club are two separate entities.
Okay. There's no, I just need to know.
Okay. Any more comments or questions to Alan and Jill about that? Right. So, to agree the proposed way for the youth club as in their revised proposal. So is that the actual motion to... Right, okay. Right, so would you like to propose that
I will
motion?
propose that.
Second. And we're voting for this proposal, so basically for the youth club with this present proposal that we've all read, to adopt that and as we said.
Within the terms of the council laid down in its licence.
Yeah, with a few provisos that Toby's pointed out that we now understand a bit more.
Liz will draft an agreement,
Yeah.
and with my help.
Okay, do we have a seconder? Yeah, Paul was, that was me. So we'd like to vote whether we agree for that motion, please. In favour? Against?
Oh, sorry.
You can't put two hands on.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Motion carried. Right, and the last item in the sports and recreation is an update on the skate park project. Who's taking that one? I was looking at you, Julie.
Okay. Well, we had a meeting with the user group and the supplier that you all chose at the last meeting. That did happen, didn't
Yes.
it? Or was that at the
We
facilities
all
meeting?
met out there.
About 11 in the
Anyway,
morning, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but we haven't been,
Um,
I haven't seen anything since
Since.
then.
No. All that's happened since then is that supplier has only as of this afternoon emailed a design. I haven't even seen it yet. Elaine's seen it. It literally came in at the 11th hour, so it's a little bit still on hold as to, you know, proceeding with that. But when we all met with the supplier, and there was an opportunity, there were about 4 of you there, I think, wasn't there? And it was an opportunity to ask them lots
Yeah,
of
there's
questions about how they would go about it. And
And the sighting as well.
the siting and also the process of how they would get the equipment over here. They're planning to use exactly the same rutted ground that's all messed up already.
And then
But obviously when it's drier,
and
and then reinstate it afterwards. So it's one set of mess on the same mess and then reinstating afterwards. And they were even offering to work with Hayden Hill, who have to come back in the spring and seed, to make sure that the reinstatement is done well. So that was all very positive. He was very positive that the new ramp would either go on the east or the west side, but most likely on
we
this
prefer the
side.
west, which obscures
Yeah.
the view to the east, which was quite nice wooded area, wasn't it?
He felt that that was quite possible. I think he was very reassuring. He answered all your questions.
You did, yeah, I thought
Yeah.
it was quite good, quite positive chat, yeah.
We didn't feel that the mistakes that were made with the path would be made again.
No, in terms of
Did we?
reinstatement and
So,
and
Well, they
things.
offered to make the reinstatement a joint venture between them and Hayden's.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. And we're still aiming for May half term for completion, so late April, early May to start,
Depending on ground conditions,
depending
you
on
said.
ground conditions. But he says they can move quickly once they're checking the weather, and
2 to 3
and so
weeks for
on.
completion,
Yeah.
you said.
they can get going pretty quickly. Skate park users are very happy.
He was there, wasn't the guy?
He was
working
there, yeah,
So,
the guy that we work with on that.
so it was a good meeting all round, really. I mean, the skate park user guy was very happy with what we were proposing,
Only that they would have preferred the mini ramp at this end.
but he was sort of
But
okay.
he, you know,
He was prepared to accept
yeah,
it was on the western
they're
side.
just thrilled to have it at all.
Yeah, yeah. And did he not mention that he would, something about the surface as well? What was he going to do about the surface?
They do.
Oh, he's going to raise, he was going to adapt, move some of the centre ramps. They've got a raised bar in the middle, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
he's going to
Yeah.
adjust the existing equipment to
For
make it.
realignment
Like a
and to
circuit.
make it
Yeah.
more preferable to them, and
Yeah.
that sort of came in the price, didn't
Yeah.
it? Which was,
And heighten the bar at the
That's
end
it.
of the thingy.
the guy was quite,
Changing,
And make it unBMX friendly.
yeah, quite happy with that. So all in all, it was quite good, I thought. But nothing as yet to anything concrete, so we're waiting for him to come back to us.
Yeah, I'm not in the office until Monday, but when I'm back in, I'll circulate
It
the
will come
design thing, you know, how they're going to lay it all out, and that can be agreed
Yeah.
by email. I think we don't need to meet about that
No.
particularly. Then it's
Leslie.
just all systems go.
Can it be limited that he was very impressed with the surface that we've already got? because he said that was
Yeah,
important.
he said it'd been extremely well done.
Yeah.
You did,
So
yeah.
that was, and it was because there was a problem with it to start with. It had to be laid twice.
Oh, was it?
So I think it should be minuted that it's been noted that it was extremely.
Yeah, the guy was most
Useful,
appreciative. He
yeah.
said, didn't he,
Yeah,
that they come
yeah.
here because of the service a lot of the guys come here. It's better than a lot of the other skate parks. Okay. Subsection B, the Facilities Committee, Ground Maintenance Subcommittee, Item 1, Park Matters, recent works and forthcoming works.
We've kind of covered that.
We've sort of
We've just
gone over that really,
Yeah,
haven't
yeah.
we? Okay. Item 2, Dog Matters.
So I'll put one thing on there.
Yeah.
We're just putting together a programme which will be passed to the football clubs of when the pitch areas and things will be mowing. But looking at it out there now, as soon as the weather's dry enough, we're going to have to mow before the new contract starts because it's
When does the new contract start?
start the new financial year.
1st of April.
1st of
But
April.
they're going to do, I spoke to Neil, they're going to do a cut as soon as it's dry enough, but at the moment, every time we've had 2 or 3 dry days and they think, right, we can get the mower out there,
Chucks it
it
down.
then
Yeah.
chucks it down again,
Okay.
so they need a good sort of dry spell.
So we're looking at one cut prior to the commencement of the contract.
Subject to the grass not...
Yeah, assuming they can get
Yeah.
on there, just the
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, I mean, it's the length of the grass that will dictate it rather than
Yeah.
any timetable that we've got.
And they have done the renovations in that corner, that turfing has been done, and they've roped it off. We just need to, it needs to be left now for a couple of weeks, just so that the turfs can...
We don't need to alter it.
Where's that, Jill?
The corner that was really badly mashed up
Oh, okay.
By
on
the
the
toilets.
papers.
Oh, right, oh, yeah, right,
Top
just,
corner,
okay,
yeah.
right, there, right, excellent, okay. Item 2, Dog Matters, changes to bylaws, dog bins questionnaire.
Yeah.
Do we get any
Well, the
further on that?
bylaws was Liz, so that
So we don't know, we
any more
don't
of
know,
that.
do we?
And the questionnaire, I think Leslie and I, we should probably have number crunched on that, and we just haven't had
Yeah.
time.
Nothing much has.
Happened on
We
that?
have had half a dozen more submissions
So it's
back in.
about 30.
I don't think we're going to get too many
No.
more. I think we just go now with
What you've got, the majority of what you've got?
that. We said we'd close off at the end of March, didn't we?
Oh, God, it's 8. Oh, no, it's not.
No,
It's still
beginning of March, no.
Another 3 weeks
Leave it
or
at 3 weeks and do it, so for the next meeting then we'll know
Yes.
pretty much.
Do you mind if we just pause for a second, because I'm really behind on this?
On the minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, carry on.
What happened about the wing bins?
We'll talk among ourselves.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
Toby
good.
can tell you all
Yeah.
about that.
Did you have a smelly journey?
Apparently, I asked Sandra if he picked them up, and the sleigh was full.
Oh, he's so tight, that guy.
Santa.
So Rudolph did it.
So you had to do it, did you?
Thanks, Rudolph.
They're in
Oh, I
the
In the shed.
compound.
Okay.
The only point which we need to think about is not only where we put them, but how we fix them, because there are no posts.
Oh.
The bins.
They're literally bins. And are they ones? Yeah. Are they ones that clamp to a metal post? Is that the type they are?
Did I forward Wing's response to
Yeah.
you? She said apparently they were all on lampposts.
Oh,
That's how they did it.
like that one's
Possible.
Oh, okay. So just direct to the lamp panel. That would
That's why
save.
there aren't any actual posts to go into the ground.
That would save a lot of installation costs, wouldn't it?
Who knew?
Yeah. Find the lamp
We have
posts
Mr.
that
Sharp
can
to
do.
do.
No,
Put them on the wooden posts.
Most of our lamp posts, well, quite a few of them are wood, aren't they? Well,
Telegraph
telegraph poles are wood, aren't they? Did she mean that or lamp posts? Not sure.
You're not allowed to put them on
Yeah,
that pole, are you?
18
I was going to
goals.
say, I wouldn't imagine so.
Anyway, there are now
Someone else wouldn't they?
7 to redistribute.
7.
Yeah,
Not
but with
really
each one
putting them all
comes
up.
a cost, the
And
cost
to
of
service
emptying and
it,
cleaning.
yeah, which
So
is quite expensive, isn't it?
did we say 2 next year?
Yeah, I
Set
think we
aside
agreed on
money for
2
two.
more. Yeah.
Can we take the opportunity to look for another supplier? Because you said there was somebody else did it.
Another emptier.
Yeah.
Yes, another contract.
Mm.
How you doing, Joe?
Because if we've got a few
I
more
don't even
bins,
know.
we could probably get it done.
Where are you up
Same
to?
cost.
Item 2 dogs.
Because if they're just
Takes
putting out
one
once,
on
it shouldn't be an automatic, X
Defer to
£100
that
extra.
tonight.
Well, the rationale for Wing getting rid of them was cost.
Yeah.
Dog
And
bins
also
questionnaire
because they can now,
finishes in
maybe
March.
ABDC changed, they can use the normal bins.
Mhm.
It's been like 3 years.
Oh, right.
That's
Well,
why
that
we
We'll make a decision.
They've
on
decided that the actual
cost
cost
of that.
wasn't worth it.
There's a point. Fucking Park, their poo bins are green. You know the new housing estate, Buckingham Park? Beautiful, you don't even see them, which isn't so good if you've got a dog and you're looking for
How are you
a...
going to find them then?
Well, that's it. I'm just telling you, they're green.
Green.
Safety, all those joggers will bump into them.
Really weird.
Leslie, you'll be pleased to hear that one of the ones I collected was green.
Was it? So we went modern.
So you don't get outside your house.
That's going to solve your problem.
No, I know
You
exactly
okay
where
now?
one should
Yeah.
go.
Keep next
Can't
to
see
it.
it.
There.
Being taped.
Right.
Okay, item 3, the RBL, I've forgotten what that acronym is.
British
British Memorial Plaque.
Oh, yes.
Anybody?
It was damaged, wasn't it?
It's
Yes.
been vandalised and they wrote to us and asked if we would fund the
Oh,
cost
that was
of
it.
having it repaired. I did circulate a
And
quote.
I think the
Can anyone, was it about £170?
I think the
consensus was...
conclusion was they installed it, they maintained it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that was voted on, wasn't
That,
it?
yeah,
No, it
but-
wasn't voted
not
on,
voted,
because
but
I
it was-
kept forgetting to put it on the agenda.
no, but it was a conclusion of the...
That was
That
the
was,
consensus.
that was an email
Yeah.
round
Yeah.
Robin, but not everyone responded. But if that's how you... Is
That's
that
how we all
it is?
feel.
That's what I see.
Well, I don't think we
Yeah,
can...
the quorum.
Number,
Yeah, the quorum.
we can just have a consensus on it.
Yeah, we can't have a motion. Can
No.
Can I just say, prior to this, we had a lovely brass plaque on the floor.
That's
Then
it.
they built the pillar,
Whatever.
and
Then it
that's
got
when-
knocked off, didn't it?
Yeah.
I know.
Then it,
I mean, why they wanted it over there, I do not know anyway.
because an airman died over there, didn't he, or something?
But it used to be underwater most of the time, didn't it? Which is probably why they raised it on that pillar, wasn't it? But now the trees are there, they do seem to take the moisture away, but could be. Okay, so consensus is, do you need to get back to them then, Jill, I guess,
Yeah.
about that, don't you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I keep putting them off because I keep forgetting to put it on the agenda.
Well, I don't
So
think you
do
need
we
to
consider that's been discussed?
Yeah.
discussed and agreed, I would say. Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. No problem.
Okay, Toby, your moment in the
Yes.
spotlight coming up.
The cafe,
Yep.
Oh, turnover.
Yeah, there you go.
pleased to be able to come here and say, this is the lease, finished, ready to sign by two of us tonight.
Okay.
The cafe have signed and returned their copy to the solicitor. Therefore, once we sign and return this to Aylesbury, it will be exchanged and legally binding.
Excellent.
So we'll try and forget what's gone before, but
Yeah.
it's all documented. So
Again,
not,
that's-
not that we, I think I've said this before, not that we have needed it because the cafe in the park have behaved in an exemplary manner, bearing in mind they're in there without any agreement, and they've been paying rent.
Oh, we
and
did
everything
have
else.
an agreement, we had a heads of terms.
If heads of terms aren't binding, that's what I'm saying, is,
I
so
know.
the lease is binding. So it will all be regularised, I would have said, by the end of this week, so we can sign this.
We've all read it, it's all, you circulated it all, didn't you?
It's
Everyone's
been-
read it, I assume, and looked at it.
Agreed and signed, so we can do that.
Do it now.
Doing a motion.
Oh, we need a motion.
Yeah.
To agree and sign the
So-
lease for the pavilion tenancy.
Shall I propose that motion?
I think you ought to, since it's your motion.
We've all agreed it, we can't all sign
A
it.
seconder,
Only
please.
two.
I'll second it.
And there's a second. Well, Toby, since you've been instigator along with this, would you like to put your...
I will.
Do we need to
Thank
vote
you.
first? Yes.
Oh, we need to vote first, okay, sorry.
We'll get
Vote.
tired now.
It's bleeding the blind, doesn't it?
Okay, it's been proposed and seconded. Motion to agree and sign the lease of pavilion tenancy, please. Unanimous.
Okay.
Now you can sign that.
Potential building.
Gives me a chance to catch up on this.
Sign on this ticket.
Hasn't come through.
Would you like to do the same, Chairman?
Yep.
3 places.
I'll look back to this one there.
So sign and print on that one, and then the others are just signatures.
Yep. two places, Toby, yeah? Was that it?
It's two of those. So not.
Yeah.
One
No,
from the sign
no,
and
no.
print, did you
There you
see
go.
that?
Oh, no, that's two pages behind that. Yeah, I did the back one, sign and print, yeah, I've done that, yeah,
That's just signed.
yeah.
Is
One.
anyone in Aylesbury tomorrow? Because I'm on leave till Monday.
Oh,
Can you drop at this at Horde and James?
Well done.
So, that'll be all right.
Thank you. Fundraising, we had a working committee during the week. The group of us got together really just to sort of to take the stock on where we were. I've reported at previous meetings, and Jill mentioned it in her report, that compared to the budget cost for the new building, which is in the region of £2.2 million, we have visibility through Section 106 monies and the £500,000 from New Home Bonus takes us to about just over £1 million. So we are all looking, and the working party are tasked with exploring various avenues of funding, and in the absence of funding, and those funding National Lottery, various grants, etc. But I think, as I've said before, we don't want to have to wait many years until the funds are available, so if we can't raise the funds in other ways, we will consider borrowing and servicing that loan. So obviously a lot more financial work needs to be done on that. There will be reports to the committees, through the committees, and to the full meeting over the course of the next few months. Whilst we're talking about grants, Peter touched on the Tesco grants earlier on. Can I just do a little advert to everybody that they do pop into their Tesco and vote for the project, not the pavilion project, but the playground project.
When does that,
Project 2.
when does that finish?
It's about another week, I think,
Sunday.
this weekend, isn't it?
Sunday.
Could I just, sorry Toby, can I just emphasise, please, everybody ask for it, because there's so much going on there and not getting them and everything. It's so important, and we do, obviously, we are going to receive a certain amount of money, but obviously we'd like to receive a lot more if possible, but please.
Some of the cashiers will give them,
Yeah.
offer them, and some just don't, and you have to
Right.
ask.
Right.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
please.
It's a bit-
Even if you have to buy a packet of fags and go back in for your matches afterwards, keep asking for your tokens, please. Thank you.
Okay,
That's me.
that's it. Thank you, Toby. Any comments, questions, Leslie?
Question now.
Yes?
How long is it going to take for the tenancy agreement for the youth club? Is it just an update of what they've already got? Or
It won't be a lease like this. It'll be
It'll be
a document drafted by Liz and myself. So it'll be no more than 5 or 6 pages.
okay,
So it's not, we're not involving external solicitors.
okay.
So once it's all defined, it can be put together in less than a week, obviously, a week to 10 days.
Okay, and we don't have to pay great expense to solicitors, no?
There'll be no solicitors involved.
Oh, that's a relief, okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
lovely.
And in agreeing with the chairman's normal thing, I invite any comments from the public on proceedings that have gone tonight.
You mentioned the youth club and talking earlier on, and just precisely mentioning that the youth club shouldn't go in direct competition with the cafe in the park, in other words, selling teas and coffee. Yet at the same time, you were authorising possibly a licensed bar, which they sell alcohol. Is that not a conflict of interest?
No, because it's not open to the general public.
So why can't they have teas and coffees?
They can have teas and coffees in there. We're not stopping that. What they're not being allowed to do is take the public in there to sell them teas and coffees.
Well, they will be public.
No, it's the football people.
Okay, so
Strictly the football people on a Saturday afternoon,
right, which
post-match.
when I stand over there on a Saturday, the football people buy out of our cafe in the
Yes.
park.
That was going to, I know you mentioned it, I was going to raise that. Are you restricting it to the players only, which I suspect they
Yes.
won't?
When the cafe shuts at 5 o'clock,
That's not the issue. The football starts.
during a football match, that place will be shut. The only person allowed in there will be the referee.
Oh,
Well, I come and watch the football, and I start here at 1:30. The kick-off is at 2 o'clock. The match finishes by 4:15. And I can assure you, because I've sat there with Peter having a cup of coffee in our cafe in the park, which all the football people go into.
Well, they'll still be able to, because that won't be open.
You're worried about the loss of business to them?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we, that's
It
what
is,
we...
it is a point.
It's the teams.
It's
Am I right?
yes, it's
the
teams, it's
players.
hospitality for the teams.
It's the players.
And officials, which they are obliged,
Yeah.
under the FA rules, to provide
That's the
hospitality
distinction.
for.
I haven't got a problem with that. What I'm saying is, surely they can do teas and coffees, but in your statement earlier on, you specifically mentioned that they were not to go into direct competition
Yeah.
with our cafe in the park.
Yeah.
Well, if you take that traffic away from our cafe in the park on a Saturday afternoon, that's some considerable traffic that's there going over to the youth club.
I'd actually second something else. I've refused to start going in the cafe in the park because of all the footballers in there. So they've actually lost my custom, which they normally have. So once this opens back up, for me, I can bring the twins down again. Go and have my cup of coffee.
I get it.
So it's going to be
It's just
swings
that
and
you-
roundabouts, isn't it?
So as a council, you raised the point earlier on to not go into direct competition.
And there won't be.
So I suppose our not consensus, but what we're saying is that we have mitigated that by saying it's going to be shut up until the finish of the game, and then it's only going to be allowed for the referee, the officials and the players. So any spectators, I wasn't aware of this, any spectators or any supporters won't be allowed in there for their cup. They will have to go to the cafe in the park.
That's
so,
madness. Who's going to police that?
Nobody.
They are. Or else they will lose it.
okay.
It'll be written into their tenancy agreement. If they're in
Could-
breach of it, then they...
We played Tring on
Close
Saturday.
down.
You had 35 people from Tring standing on the touchline. What are you going to say? Sorry, you can't come in for a
It won't
drink
be open.
after the game.
After the game, if the...
Well, okay, all we can say is we've taken your point on board.
Sure, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm
No.
just saying you can't give one without giving the
One
other.
closes at 5, the other
We'll take your point on board and we'll monitor it.
One
Peter?
closes at 5, the other opens at 5.
On the point of opening
They
and
close
closing
at 6.
times, that would be very sort of fluctuation, wouldn't it? Because during the darker nights, the games will kick off at 1, as Russ says, and they'll be finished by
Well,
half 3.
We actually said from the end of the game. The purpose of the football club going in there is that they are obliged to provide after-match hospitality to visiting teams and FA officials.
But now you're saying after the end of the game.
But that's what we said all along.
No, you're saying 5 till 9.
No, we said, if you check the exact wording, it was after the end of the match, which in the lighter nights is 5 o'clock.
Okay. All right, well, we'll have to keep our eye on that one, because if they start using it to any great extent, then that is taking business away from the cafe.
I will say that
It's a point worth noting. Thank you, Rose. A point
they
worth
have
noting.
invited the cafe to provide them with their food. So the cafe will still be providing, as long as it wishes to, the catering for that place.
Well, that was a point that you failed to mention earlier on. Otherwise,
Well,
that question
it's-
wouldn't have been raised.
Okay. All right, thanks, Rose. Anybody else? Okay, the last item is the date for the next meeting,
6th of April.
6th of April.